Love it.
And our word for today on this memorial of St. Agatha on this Wednesday, January the 5th, our word for today is discipline, and here to talk about it, Deacon Dan Brahier. Good morning, Deacon Dan.
Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning.
You got me doing some Steve Martin flashbacks now.
Oh, yeah.
I took a trip to France, and they're saying like chapeau means hat and oof means egg. I mean, those French have a word for everything.
Yeah, that's right.
Ron, Dave, if laziness was an Olympic discipline, I'd want to finish fourth place so I wouldn't have to climb the podium.
Oh, that's good. I like it.
We got to start calling you earlier.
Yeah, that was good.
Well, I'm trying to clean up here. So
yeah, there you go. That's he's the cleaner. The bat-up cleaner.
Yeah.
What is it? The cleanup batter. There it is. I couldn't even remember that.
There you go.
The cleanup batter. There we go.
You have a way with words, Dave.
Yeah, I have a way with words.
Not halfway.
Not halfway.
The word for the day is discipline. And interesting, David, you talked about the whole disciplining at school, because that's the image that comes to my mind. I mean, I've taught in so many different schools, and in every case, every school, including the university, has some kind of a code of discipline.
Right.
So, if a student gets out of line and he breaks the rules, there's going to be some type of disciplinary action. And so the meaning of the word discipline in general, it infers that there's a process of teaching and learning going on. Somebody is teaching somebody else a lesson, and the other person is learning from that experience. And so if a person is being punished, they're being, quote, disciplined because through the process of, say, writing an essay or serving a detention, that student is having a behavior corrected and learning how to behave better. So it's always about learning. And that's why we talk about, for example, math and science as being disciplines. They're disciplines because there are areas that involve teaching and learning. And so, of course, the word disciple has the word discipline embedded right into it, because a disciple of Jesus is one who is learning from him. The disciplining means that the teaching and learning process is going on. So ultimately, when we are being disciplined, that learner is supposed to become wiser in the process. And that's why in the Book of Wisdom, if you think about it, biblical scholars have said that the words wisdom and discipline are basically used interchangeably throughout the Book of Wisdom. So if we're disciplined, then some kind of learning has occurred, so we've become wiser for the experience. And so wisdom and discipline are both kind of mean the same thing. So in another 4 weeks, amazingly enough, 4 weeks from today, we'll begin Lent. And for 40 days, what do? As Catholics, we adopt the 4 disciplines of Lent, 3 disciplines of Lent: prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. So we're trying to connect with God. We're giving up what we don't really need, and we're putting other people first. And those disciplines ultimately build our relationship with God. We learn to understand him better as we prepare for Easter. So the author of Hebrews in the first reading today quotes actually the book of Proverbs. And the book of Proverbs says to not disdain the discipline of the Lord, for whom the Lord loves, he disciplines. In other words, we should not be surprised to know that God loves us so much that he'll allow us to fall, but then he will use our pain after the fall as an opportunity to help us grow. God's not going to let any experiences that we have in our lives go to waste. And so Hebrews goes on to encourage the reader. He says to endure your trials as discipline. God treats you as his sons. And again, kind of the emphasis here is that our lives will inevitably include trials. That's why Jesus told us we have to pick up our cross and follow him. But when we carry those crosses, we develop our relationship with God, and we become wiser. So as the author says, the discipline brings with it the peaceful fruit of righteousness. Isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're going through the discipline and the pain, but in the end, there will be a peaceful fruit that comes from it. So, it's totally cliche, but how often do we hear people say, no pain, no gain?
Yeah.
And that's really how it goes with the spiritual life. It may not be easy to get up and go to Mass every Sunday, It may not be easy to establish a daily prayer routine. It may not be easy for us to put money in the collection basket, but those pains are nothing compared to the grace of God that comes from the discipline, from the teaching and learning process as we become closer to Him.
Mm. And isn't it amazing? You talk to the runner, the guy who's working out, and he says, how cruel is it that difficulty exists in this world? God obviously is not kind. As they're lifting weights, you're like, do you not understand? This is part of what we have to do in order to grow. And you get it on the physical level. We need to get it on the spiritual level as well.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And you have to set the sight right away of knowing that it's just not going to come easy. And why should we expect a relationship to be any different?
Deacon Dan Brahier, thank you.